Hey guys, Wayback Rewind here. In 2007, Panasonic introduced a camcorder that could record to SDHC memory card and in full HD 1920 by 1080. This was the first ever tapeless camcorder that could record in full HD resolution and without any other recording mechanism such as a hard drive or DVD. I'm going to show this camcorder to you coming up next here on Wayback Rewind. We have here a Panasonic HDC-SD5. This is the second generation tapeless solid-state camera from Panasonic. The first ever full HD 1920 by 1080 camcorder from Panasonic. This camera came out in 2007. It wasn't the first camcorder to record solely to SD card, but it was one of the first. The previous year, Panasonic came out with the HDC-SD1. This is the follow-up. And what made this significant is that it has the full HD, 1920 by 1080. And it's a 3-chip camera. Not just 3 chips, but 3 CCDs, which presumably is higher quality than the 3 MOS, which came later. Despite the knurling here, this does not rotate. It's not a manual focus. It's not a zoom. It's not anything. It's just decoration. It does have a stereo microphone here and a flash. Pretty good selection of ports. We have a full-sized HDMI and a regular mini type USB. Inside here, this opens to reveal a component video out and an analog video out. Component was all the rage in 2007, but the fact that they give you a full-size HDMI, no real reason to use component. But what's really interesting about this camera is the way you access the battery and the SD card. You open this door, and this is very similar to a still camera. The battery comes out through the bottom, and the SD card comes out as well. The screen is not a touch screen. It uses joystick back here, and you have the typical rotating knob. Instead of having a separate position for motion and still, it basically just has motion and play, and to record still, you push the button. I kind of like that better. Let's power it on. This particular camera works perfectly. As you can see, it is ready to go in the highest quality setting here. It's got about enough room for an hour worth of video. When this camera first came out in 2007, SD cards were only 4 gigabytes, and towards September of that year, they came out with 8 gigabytes, but that was as large as an SD card could be in 2007. And since there's no hard drive, there's no DVD drive, there's no other kind of drive of any other kind, this camera could only record basically an hour and 20 minutes tops. That was the biggest drawback to this camera. You had to have a pocket full of SD cards. The menus are very reminiscent of Panasonic in 2007. As I indicated before, it's not a touchscreen. You have to work this toggle. Not a lot of features. It has a basic, advanced, just kind of weird. But it does have a couple of nice things like zebra, color bars, automatic slow speed shutter. Basic, it has some scene modes, digital zoom. As usual, I always set it to the highest quality. It does have a flash. One thing conspicuously absent, there's no cold shoe, so there's no way to add a microphone or a light without having some type of a side handle. That's a little bit of a bummer. So it does have the 37mm threads on the front. I can add a wide angle lens.
good. It's gonna freeze solid.